So for today, we're going to review how to go from standard form. We're going to go over today how to go from Vertex to standard form. We've gone over both of these forms in the past, but we're going to show you how to transition from here first into standard form. What I would like for you guys to do is to go ahead and write this problem out in your notes. This is your warm-up. I would like for you to pause the video for about 5 minutes, work the problem out, unpause the video, and see whether or not your work matches my work, okay? So, we have our problem here. Negative x squared minus 14x minus 59. First thing we need to do is to go through and identify our A, our B, and our C. So, A, B, and our C. If we look at our equation here, this is our A, this is our B, and this is our C. But here, with our A, I don't know what number is here. So I need to figure out what number goes in front. And remember that every variable has an invisible 1. So my A is going to be -1. My B is -14. Let me write that a little separate from the equal sign. And my C is -59. Okay. So I'm going to need all three of these values to work out every single one of these. Okay. Y-intercept, don't forget, our y-intercept is technically the same thing as our C, and we need to write it as an ordered pair. So our y-intercept is 0, -59. The axis of symmetry, which is here, don't forget that we have to follow a formula that looks like this. X equals -b over 2a. When we work this problem out, we need to substitute your b and substitute your a. So we're going to put values here and values here. And so I always start off with a negative. Inside the parentheses, I'm going to stick the -14. So -14 all over 2 parentheses. A is going to go right here. Like that. We're going to work this out. I get a +14 over a -2. And then that is going to give me a -7. So our axis of symmetry is x equals a -7. The next thing I need to do is find my vertex. I'm going to use the value we got here, but I'm also going to have to use this equation and solve for y. Okay, so our vertex needs to be in the form of x comma y. We already know that our x is -7, but I don't know my y. So everywhere that we see an x here and here, we're going to use substitution. to solve for our y. So let's get started. Y equals a negative 1 parentheses squared minus 14 parentheses minus 59. I'm going to take my x, which is negative 7, stick it here, and stick it here. So I need to work this out. I need to work this out doing the exponents first, keeping in mind that this is a negative 7 times a negative 7, which is a positive 49. But this negative comes straight down. The answer from this is here. So this negative does not change to a positive. It comes straight down. Okay. The next thing I need to do is to multiply 14 times 7. That is technically, again, a negative 14 times a negative 7. So when I multiply that together, I get a positive 98. Bring this down. I'm going to multiply. I get a negative 49 plus 98 minus 59. I'm going to work this part out here. So 98 minus 49 is going to be 49. Minus 59, and that gives us a negative 10. So my y is a negative 10, and I'm going to stick that up right here. Okay, and that is our vertex. So, one more time, y-intercept is your c value. You stick that here, but it has to be written as an ordered pair. Axis of symmetry, we have to use this formula, and we have to substitute the values b and a into that formula, which we did here and here. 2 negatives make a positive. 2 times a negative 1 is a negative 2, which is a negative 7. That's how we got our answer here. For our vertex, we knew our x. I had to solve for y by substituting our x values into our original equation. We squared, got 49, multiplied, got negative 49, multiplied, got a positive 98, subtracted, got a positive 49, subtracted again, and got negative 10. Okay, so this is a review of how to find these three values using standard form. So we're going to take notes, so you should still have your notebook out. This is our learning target for today. I will be able to calculate key features from an equation in standard form in order to graph. Okay, so I can evaluate expressions using values from an equation. I can find a y-intercept, the axis of symmetry, the vertex, and table of values. I can graph a quadratic function. Okay, so what we're going to really do is take everything that we know about vertex and what we know about standard form, and we're going to put it all together. Okay, so go ahead and take a minute, write this down so we can start taking notes. So as a reminder, if I know that I have vertex form, these are the things that I can find from the vertex. So if it's in this format right here, I know what my A is. I know what my vertex is from here and here. I know what the axis of symmetry is just by taking our x value here. If we can change this into this, we now know one other piece of information, which is our y-intercept. Okay, so we get a lot of information from here, but from standard form, we only get one thing. Okay, so if we can transform this to this, we get this. Okay, so what I'm going to show you today is just how to go from here to here. I'm not going to go over any other examples of like the full step of finding everything. I could, I guess, if I wanted to. We'll think about it. Okay, so you don't need to write this down. It should already be in your notebook. Okay, do want you guys to write this down. So this is what I call just a basic explanation of how to go from vertex form to standard form. Vertex to standard. Okay, again, this is vertex form right here. We need to look at this as how to take this apart and expand it a little bit. Simplify it, I guess, would be another word to use. I need to take this and do what it's telling us to do. So in this problem, you should see this is multiplication. And then here we have an exponent. Okay. With that being said, we need to actually do these things. I need to multiply. We're going to deal with the exponents and we're going to deal with the addition. But remember, it has to be done in a certain order. Okay, so you guys ready? So the first thing we're going to do is look at those exponents. So this exponent right here. What that exponent is telling us is that there are two of these being multiplied by themselves. So it technically looks like this. So if I have 2, that means I have 1, 2 of these multiplied by themselves. Okay, so exponent of 2 means there are 2 of them. They're identical. They're multiplying by themselves. Okay. Next, what I need to do is to multiply these 2 together. You can either do that by using the box method, or you can do that by using double distribution. I like doing the box method. Okay. Totally up to you on which method you want to use, whichever one you're comfortable with. Now, when I multiply these together, I'm going to get something like this. I'm going to get a trinomial. Okay. 2 binomials multiplied together give us a trinomial. The next thing I have is this a on the outside. I'm going to take this a and I'm going to multiply it all the way through that set. Okay, so we're going to distribute. Multiply, multiply, multiply. And we're going to get something like this. The last thing we're going to do is to combine these like terms. So this term is going to be a constant and this term will be a constant. And together we can add these together. And when we combine those like terms, it'll look like this. And notice that this is standard form. I apologize for the difference in sound. My cat just jumped on my lap and wants to be near me while I'm working, so I apologize. So again, notice that it goes from vertex into standard form. Now I'm going to do a problem in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some time. If you need to pause the video to catch up with your note taking for this slide, please do so. If not, go ahead and go on with the next example. So we're going to do an example together. I'm going to take the example here And we're going to go all the way to standard form. Okay. So, looking back at your notes, we need to start with the exponent. Give me 1 second. Anybody who has cats knows that they just sit in the way, right? They just don't want to they don't want to give you the space that you need to get your work done. So I need to adjust things around me. Okay, so we need to do the exponent first. So what this means is that I have, 2 of these. 1, 2, plus 7. Okay, so again, one more time. Exponent says that I have 2 of these. 1, 2. What I need to do now is that I'm going to multiply these together. Again, I like using the box method. X minus 4, x minus 4. X times x is x squared. X times a negative 4, negative 4x. Negative 4 times x gives me a negative 4x. Negative 4 times a negative 4 is going to give me a positive 16. Now remember, when we do this, these 2 parts need to combine, and we get negative 8x. So, this changes from here to here. Okay, so exponent, there's 2 of them. I take these 2 and I multiply them together. I like using the box method, and we get this. X squared, these 2 combine to give us a negative 8x plus 16. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is multiply these together. So I'm going to take this 2 and I'm going to multiply everything by 2. So I get 2x squared minus 16x plus 32 plus 7. We're almost done. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add these 2 together. Okay, you always combine the 2 at the end. And we're going to get 2x squared minus 16x plus 39. So now this is your standard form. So let's look at a couple of things. I know that looks terrible. It's really hard to write when you're not on the board. Okay, so A equals 2. That means that this is what? Normal width, wider width, or skinnier width. So this is actually more skinny. Okay, we do know that it's opened upwards because it's a positive 2. Okay, we know our vertex our vertex we get from here. So if this is a -4, do we want a -4 or are we going to write down a +4? We're going to write down a +4. Okay, so vertex is 4 and then 7. Our axis of symmetry is right here. X equals 4. Okay. We know that because it opens this way, we are going to have a minimum at x equals 4. We also know our y-intercept. So y-intercept, remember our y-intercept is our c. And if you look right here, that's our c. So we could change this to this. Okay. In order to graph this, you would need to still pick out your 5 values and put it in a t-chart. The vertex is the values that need to go in the center. So this one would go right here, 4, 7. You would need to pick 2 values that are lower and 2 values that are higher. So lower would be 3 and 2. Higher would be 5 and 6. You would then need to take all these values, stick them back into, you could either pick either one, it doesn't matter. You could either substitute them here or you could substitute them here. It totally doesn't matter. It's up to you. I would probably stick them into your vertex form because there's only one x and here there's 2 x's. Okay, so there's no erase button. I can't find one. So I'm just going to sketch this out just here. So for example, if I were to do this value here, x equals 2. So what I would need to do is put this here and work it out. So 2 minus 4 squared plus 7. If I work that out, I get -2 squared plus 7. This gives me 4 plus 7, and that's 8 plus 7, which is 15. Okay. So then you would work this out. Again, you would do 3, stick it in, work it out, find your y. Stick in 5, work it out, find your y. Stick in 6 here, and then find your y, and then you could graph it. Okay. Yeah. So if you have any questions, let me know. I will be actually on the road, so you can still message me if you have questions, okay? So, yeah, so this is how we change vertex to standard form. The process of going from here to here, how to find all of the information using our vertex here, finding our y-intercept from here, okay? So, if you have any questions, again, let me know. Once you finish taking notes, please get the you-do from the substitute teacher. Please turn it in before you leave, or you can turn it in tomorrow, whichever works for you. But if there is time to get it finished in class, I need you to finish it in class, okay? Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. If after you fill out and complete the you-do, please ask the substitute teacher for the worksheet Use the time in class to get as much done in class as you can, and leave the rest of it for tomorrow, because tomorrow will be a work day. But again, I do want you to use that time wisely to get work done. You should not be on your phones. You should be working on either your You Do or starting the worksheet.